Everybody, Sloth here, coming at you with a factory map guide. Hopefully this helps you guys figure out where to go when you first spawn, where you want to kind of hang out, and where you can kill people the best. Alright, so getting straight into it, first let's cover from the PMC end of the whole map where you can possibly spawn. So the very first spawn that you can get is right up here at the top right. This is the forklift machinery equipment spawn. People call it different things, but it's right up here at the top right. When you spawn here, usually you're in a pretty safe position, but what you want to do is first push straight out, and you want to look down this long hallway right here, because oftentimes there's someone that has spawned right there or just outside of there that may be pushing down that hallway. So you want to take a peek down there. If you're playing in a squad, it's really nice to have one person watch that while the next person pushes forward a little bit and looks down towards the next spawn to see if someone else has spawned down there. What you'll want to do is you want to peek down this short hallway right here to check the other spawn. It's some people call it the breach or the death box. It's just a small little room that kind of borders this room. It does have a downstairs portion that can lead to these stairs right here. So what you want to do is you don't want to go all the way down the hallway just to look in the door. If your buddy's watching that long hallway, you guys want to kind of keep a similar angle. That way this guy doesn't come up the stairs right behind you and get a cheap shot on you while your buddy's watching the other hallway. So try to keep a similar angle and just kind of keep an eye down there for a quick second and get your bearings. The next spawn that you can have in this area of the map is actually in this long hallway. This is honestly one of the worst spawns because damn near every single time I spawn in this hallway, if I try to push back towards the forklift room, usually there's someone who's already there or who's just spawned there, and they can kill me extremely easily because there's no cover down this hallway. There's two little boxes, but they're midway through the hallway, so even if you do hide behind them, you're going to have to step back out into fire again in order to escape and get out the hallway. And then all the noise that you've just created, now you're out in the middle of this big room. So in my opinion, it's best that if you spawn here, you commit and you push straight towards the bathrooms. The other spawn that you can get is just a little bit closer outside of the hallway. It's right over here. It's the tin cans is what some people call it, or the L. It's right outside of the gate 3 exit, and in my opinion it's one of the worst spawns. You're spawning literally in the middle of a huge room right next to the only guaranteed exit for PMCs and scavs. So the second that I spawn here and I see and realize where I'm at, I immediately push towards the bathrooms because I just need to get out of there. I do not push back towards the hallway because of the same thing we just went over. You can easily get just dropped running down that hallway. So what I normally do is I push straight into the bathrooms and I go straight from there. Those are pretty much all of the spawns that you can get as a PMC in the top part of the factory map. The other spawns there are all on the bottom side. So you can potentially spawn right here in this very far bottom right room. It doesn't lead anywhere, so in my opinion it's kind of a crappy spawn as well, because when you're in there, if someone realizes you're in there, you're stuck in a room with zero cover and nowhere to go. So generally what I'll do with that is I'll either just commit with my buddy to push straight out and head down this ramp right here on the left by the bunker, or we'll push straight through the silos and we'll try to head to the tower that's right in the center of the map right here that has what we call just a catwalk. It's the metal catwalk that bridges between the center building and the main offices. You can also spawn over here by gate 0. Now gate 0 is a PMC extract, but you have to have a key for it. So generally if you spawn here, it's usually pretty safe that people aren't trying to push in there because most people don't extract out of there. I'd say the large majority of everybody pushes through gate 3, so usually spawning in here, you're in a fairly safe position. So usually what I'll do when I play with my brother is we'll both push forward, we'll go down to the right through this little hallway right here, and one of us will check the underground passage to see if anybody's spawned down here at the camera bunker door, which you can spawn at, and it's also kind of not a great one because there's nowhere really to go other than down this long hallway. So if someone's already watching you, you're kind of boned. So my brother and I spawn at gate 0, we go down, one watches this lower half, the other will usually watch up at the top and just kind of see if there's anything going on in this big room right here. Now I very rarely get this spawn. You can occasionally spawn in this far left room over here. It's just another hallway, but it's very infrequently trafficked. So usually if you spawn there, you can kind of push down the hallway into this wooden room to gate 0, and then from there you can loop in. Or if you want to make kind of a harder push, you can just book it across from this spawn straight up to the scaffolding, and then you can be into the main offices building in 10 seconds. Okay, so that's all of the spawns and kind of where I go after I spawn. But one of the next big parts to understand with Factory is how the tunnel system works. So the tunnels span from right here at this down ramp that I mentioned before, right over here by gate 0. It runs the length to camera bunker door right here, and then it runs up to the bottom part of the offices. Right at the top part here, you can go up this ramp and then go into the bottom door into the offices. So it's a very convenient way to get to the offices while sort of being undercover. But the tunnels also then linked to a ramp right here that comes to the bunker. So like I said, if I spawn in this bad room right here, I'll usually loop and then I'll take this little down ramp into the tunnels. That way I can then push up to the bathrooms without being out in the open, or I'll check and see if anyone's over here at gate 0. Before you get to the end of the tunnel right here, there's an offshoot of the tunnel right here that leads you into the big main pit. In the main pit, up at the other end of it on the opposite side, there's another branch of that tunnel that will lead you into this little square area. Again, I don't generally see it being trafficked very frequently. But the majority of the time when I'm playing Factory, if I ever get into a tight spot, I'll dip down into the tunnels. And then for the most part, it is a very low trafficked area that's generally pretty safe for me to be kind of checking my kit, healing up while moving through and heading towards the gate 3 exit to kind of pop up over by the forklift spawn. Now through this tunnel, it does split right here. So it'll look like it's one long hallway with an offshoot to the left, but it all connects in the same spot where there's a forklift ramp that'll lead you into this main upper room, or it'll follow the L and then it'll run all the way up to the cellars exit, or you can run up the stairs and you can run down that main death hallway and head towards gate 3. There's also a middle exit right here, which is another spawn that we mentioned before. I rarely go in there. I'll usually check it just to make sure anybody's in there, but for the most part, I don't really go into that room. Okay, so we've already covered the spawns and the tunnels. So those are the two biggest geographical things aside from extracts. So extracts is a PMC. You can either head out through gate 3, which is here, which is always open and available to everybody. So know that there's quite likely going to be people that are camping it or trying to extract out through it at the same time. So when you head towards there, you got to do it with caution. Pay attention. If the doors are closed half the time, that means someone's in there camping. Then what you have is cellars and gate 0. Both of these require a factory key. So if you don't have a factory key and you're playing as PMC, your only option is gate 3. So again, like I said, just proceed with caution. Every now and then it's inevitable to get killed by the guys camping the extract, but for the most part, you'll be okay. Just be careful, approach with caution, and if you can, have a buddy that kind of watches your back or peeks into the door after you open it. If you're playing Scab, you do have some more potential extracts. So one of them is the camera bunker door or the top of the offices, which is just this main building right here. Up at the very top 3rd floor, there's one main room that's a little bit closer to the bottom half that is going to have an extract right in there that you can take. Now the last main part of the geography of this map is the offices. So they look insanely intimidating. The first time I've played this game, or the first several times I played this map, I was far too scared to go into the offices because of all the gunshots that I could hear. It just sounded like a complete shit show. I was freaked out to go in there, so I just kind of hugged around the side of Factory trying to cheap shot some people that are on the edges and get there. But the offices are actually very simple. So the very first ground floor, there's nothing there. It just connects to a staircase on each side that'll bring you up to the 2nd level. The 2nd level has this locker room right here. It connects to both sides. It pushes all the way through. There's a bunch of metal and ceramic tiles on the ground that you can hear people stepping on. So if you ever hear tile being stepped on, you know that they're in the lockers. If you're just looking to bait a bunch of scavs and pile them up, the lockers are a great spot to do it. The only downside is that you are letting everybody know exactly where you are. You're in the middle of the map and you've got a little bit of a way to go if you're playing as a PMC in order to get out. Also, one kind of cheeky move that people do every now and then is you're on this end of it, of the sinks. You can stand on the sink and watch the doorway and peek over this wall, and you can check this door right here right next to you, and you can peek all the way across and see the other door. So whenever entering, just kind of keep your eyes not just in front of you but also up a little bit to take a look at that. The top level of the offices is this section right here. So you've got a locked room, there's a room that you can breach, and then there's the office where you can actually extract if you're playing as a scav. There's usually some decent loot. There's almost always people up here, and it's a very hard area to push because everybody's looking down the same way. There's not a lot of cover in between unless you can find your way into a room. And depending on which side that you're on, you either have a hole that connects to scaffolding, which will connect to this main room right here, where you can have people throw grenades or try to shoot you while you're peeking down the hallway, or it's connecting to the sky bridge or that metal catwalk that goes straight into that middle building. So aside from people coming up the stairs at you, you've got potential people coming up right behind you or to the side of you too. So you kind of have to keep your ears open while you're here. However, Factory is honestly one of the most exciting maps, because if you're ever looking for just a quick game and you want to get into just some action really quick, Factory is the place to go. It is such a shit show almost every single time. It's just a blast. And the thing that I love about Factory is that you can easily get in, you can get into some action, and because the map is so small and those tunnels link everywhere throughout the map and they're not trafficked very often, you can usually get in, get a kill or two, get some loot, and then dip out through gate 3 really quickly. You can make like a 10-minute run and come out with some good stuff if you get the right guy. It's a great map. I would definitely get in and go for it. I personally, playing this map, love going into the offices now that I've built up some confidence on this map, even though it's still, like I said, it's still so chaotic and so many people die, and I die a lot on a Factory. It's so much fun getting into these gunfights across the hallways, through the bathrooms, hearing all the tile and everything, and then having people come up behind you. It's just so exhilarating hearing everything around you. It's really a great map. I really recommend that you guys get into this map, just play it, and really just get yourself into the offices, get into the action. It's so tight, it's easy to get out if you need. The one other last big tip that I always recommend is that on your way, when you're very first approaching the offices, just pop a painkiller right before you get in there, because you don't want to get your legs blacked out while you're trying to get up there and you need to quickly get out or whatever it is. Just pop a painkiller before you start heading up those first stairs. It's definitely worth the little bit of safety and protection and movement that you'll get out of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this Factory map guide. If you guys want to see any other maps, let me know. Otherwise, have fun, happy killing, and let me know if I missed anything. Subscribe down below if you want to see anything else.